as the philanthropist of the pandemic times. Dr. Vidya is giving 2-3 talks, and she is working hard for the physical and mental fitness of youth and elderly people, and she is working for kids as well. As I myself am a resource person, and I am a life skill trainer. But I am drawing inspiration from Dr. Vidya, such a gem of a person with a brilliant topic. Warmest welcome to Dr. Divya, and welcome to everyone. And this is Dr. Joju John from Mar Theophilus Training College, Nalanjara. We would like to welcome Dr. Vidya and all of you to this Insight in-depth program. This is a continuous program. By the way, I am Dr. Joju, Research Coordinator of Mar Theophilus Training College. Warm welcome to everyone. I would like to share you one easy method to share your positive vibe to your friends and colleagues. Can you guess what's that? You can send the video link and the poster of today's program to your family, friends, and colleagues so that they can also benefit from this program. Good evening, one and all. And this is organized by the research scholars of Mar Theophilus Training College. Over to you, research scholars. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. Let me start with the words of Bob Teague. We all leave footprints as we journey our life. Make sure ours are worth following. Warm welcome to all of you to our 38th talk of Insight in-depth invited talk series hosted by the research wing of the prestigious Mar Theophilus Training College. Excellence through divine illumination is our vision. The college stands for enlightenment, excellence, and empowerment, realizing the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man, so as to mold a cognitively enriched, effectively balanced, morally upright, socially committed, and spiritually inspired teachers for the world. Thank you all for finding time and being here. Myself, Sanla Manoj, research scholar, Mar Theophilus Training College. Prayer is the link that connects us with God. Let us begin our meeting by seeking the blessing of Almighty with a prayer. Please be paused for a while. Thank you, everyone. Before we start, a humble reminder to our dear participants. Please mute your audio and video unless you are asked to unmute to avoid any distraction. If you have any queries related to the meeting, please type them in the chat box. After the talk by our resource person, there will be a deliberation time. At that time, you can clear your queries. This webinar is being recorded and will be uploaded in the MTTC official YouTube channel, and the link will be shared through the Insight in-depth WhatsApp groups. Feedback form will be shared through the chat box only at the end of the meeting. Only those who submit the feedback form will receive the e-certificate through the email ID which you enter in the feedback form. I humbly request everyone to kindly follow the instructions for the smooth conduct of the meeting. Kindly cooperate. Thank you. May I now invite Mrs. Nitya SS, Research Scholar, Martiflus Training College for the welcome address. Over to you, Nitya ma'am.
Thank you, Sanla ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, please.
Good evening, one and all. I, Nitya SS, Research Scholar, on behalf of Martiophilus Training College, is here to extend a warm welcome to everyone who has joined today on this virtual platform for the 38th section of Insight In-Depth webinar hosted by the Research Wing of Martiophilus Training College, Thiruvananthapuram. It is indeed a great pleasure for having this opportunity. First of all, I would like to welcome Dr. K.Y. Benedict Sir, Principal of Martiophilus Training College, whose efficient leadership and guidance has helped the college to excel in all its endeavors. We welcome you, sir. Today, we have with us an eminent personality as our resource person, Dr. Vidya Hari Iyer, psychotherapist, counselor, as well as a dental surgeon. Today, who will be speaking on the topic leaving positive footprints. We cordially welcome you, ma'am, to this program. Let me also welcome Dr. Joju Jones, sir, Research Coordinator, Research Wing of Martiophilus Training College, our constant source of motivation. We welcome you, sir, to this program. Finally, let me welcome each one of you, teachers, research supervisors, research scholars, MAD and B.Ed students from all over the country who have joined us today for yet another enriching section. I welcome you all to this webinar. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Nitya ma'am. Our topic for today is Leaving Positive Footprints by Dr. Vidya Hari Iyer, psychotherapist, counselor, dental surgeon, motivator, and whatnot. This is the second time Vidya ma'am is here to motivate and inspire us with her mesmerizing words. She was with us on our 28th talk of our Insight in Depth on the topic, Don't Worry, Be Happy. It was a great webinar which we all cherish forever. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us. Let us now know more about our resource person. For introducing our guest of honor, let me invite Mrs. Sindhu A. Sera, Research Scholar, Martiophilus Training College, for introducing the guest of honor. Over to you, Sindhu, ma'am.
Thank you, Sanila. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure that I introduce the speaker of the day, Dr. Vidya Hari Iyer. A passionate psychotherapist and counselor for over a decade, she is an absolutely positive person with a go-get attitude who has won the hearts of many with her radiant smile. She is the director of Smile Dental Clinic, an excellent dental surgeon who is further an inspirational speaker, a successful businesswoman, entrepreneur, life and leadership coach, and behavioral analyst. She has been awarded the Miss Beautiful Smile 2017, Miss Aragi 2019, Miss Attitude 2019 award, Miss Shakti 2019 and 2020 awards, and also the Dr. Abdul Kalam Lifetime Achievement Award. She has been serving people with concerns, has invested quality time in feminine concerns of cancer. She's a half marathoner, an artist, and an ardent animal lover who loves adventure sports and traveling. Let us listen to this wonderful, powerful, captivating personality, a role model for all of us, Dr. Vidya Hari Iyer. Ma'am, The platform is yours.
Thank you, Sindhu ma'am. We are fortunate to have such a great personality as a resource person who will definitely enlighten our knowledge and, of course, prepare us to leave a positive footprint. With a great gratitude, let me invite Dr. Vidya Hari Iyer ma'am for expressing her valuable thoughts and ideas. The platform is yours, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all those kind words. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please. Thank you.
Okay. So good evening, friends, and welcome to another amazing session of Insight In-Depth series. And it's a pleasure, as many of them have already introduced, that it is my second webinar with all of you. I truly feel it as a great responsibility and a proud privilege to be a part of this institution and the noble cause and all the activities that you are all doing at the Marthomius Training College. So at the onset, let me first thank Dr. K.Y. Benedict sir, Dr. Joju John sir, who is actually instrumental in bringing me here, Sanila ma'am, Sindhu Sara ma'am, Nitya ma'am, and all the other delegates who have been present here. It's indeed a homecoming for me, and without any further ado, I would like to go ahead with my presentation for the day, which has been, exactly told by my friends here. So I just want to know if my screen is visible to all of you so that I can start.
Yes, ma'am.
My
It's visible,
screen
ma'am.
visible? Okay, great. So thank you, friends. Thank you so much for that kind invitation. So let me first get to understand what this leaving positive footprints is all about. Just before this session started, there was a wonderful video. I don't know how many of you actually sat down, relaxed, and watched that video. It was about kindness, right? And we understand that it causes a kind of a ripple effect in society and thereby brings back a lot of happiness, a lot of mental peace, a lot of joy for the giver as well as for the person who has received that. So I truly believe in these words. I truly believe in giving whatever you can to the society. And as Dr. Jojo John said, during pandemic, all of us were awestruck with what was happening around us. And little did we know what was in store for us, because never in our lives have, we come into a kind of a situation that we had to sit at home and still work, right? So it was as, traumatic for everybody. It was for all of us too. So I have been in the teaching industry for the last 26 plus years. And all I understood was how do I connect with my students? And then we went from offline to online. And then, the kind of social media reach really made a lot of difference. And if not for that social media, if not for this Zoom or Google platform, if not for this electricity and the kind of connectivity all of us have, how would I have been able to connect with all of you? I know you're all there, mostly from Trivandrum, Kerala, and from all other parts of India. And I'm sure this is such a miracle which has happened even during the pandemic. So even though we try to say a lot of, kind of a negative things about the pandemic, there has been so many positive things also. And how do we leave a positive footprint in today's society? So first, let us understand why this topic and what is its relevance today. I guess I already started that. The whole idea of this topic came into my mind when I had to, when Jojo John sir said, ma'am, would you give me another presentation of yours? And we had booked this date 2-3 weeks back. And I was thinking, what should I talk about? Because every Monday, I have also been attending all your seminars as one of the delegates. So I was thinking, what is it that can be relevant to each one of us sitting here today? Many are housewives, many are students, many are job goers, and still, what is the relevance that I can contribute today? So hence I said, let's have some positivity and what do we leave as trails for others to follow? And I felt it really had a lot of relevance today, because just imagine all of us, if we had just sat down and done nothing, I'm sure nothing would have really come out of it. But I'm so happy that, Insight in Depth team, they thought about a national webinar every single Monday, where all of us made it a habit to come at 4:30 and be there, not only just in listening mode, but also in learning mode. And that is why I felt there was a lot of relevance of today's topic. When we look at life, we also start to compare ourselves. Oh, that person is bigger than us, better than us, beautiful than us, and a lot of things like that. But honestly, if you look at life, comparison can be your biggest enemy. Never, ever compare yourself with anybody for that matter. You are unique, you are special, you're extraordinary. And that is what makes you you. Otherwise, all of us have two eyes, one nose, two hands, two legs, and a mouth, right? But then how can we be special? We are special because of the heart we possess and the qualities, the character we possess beyond that. Next, when we ask people, are you busy? I'm sure all of us would say, oh my God, I'm so busy. But then, what are you busy doing is the next question. Be so busy in improvising yourself, my dear friends, because you should not have time to listen to others' criticism. This is something I learned over time, because when somebody says something to us, it hurts us. And like in serials they show, whatever they have said, it keeps repeating and repeating in our brain. No matter how much ever positivity we have heard through the day, one seed of negative words or thoughts can pollute the entire positivity in our brains, in our lives. So, what is it that we need to improve on? Next, we need to learn to vibrate. Now, what do I mean by this? Imagine there is a radio channel, and say that radio channel is 93.5 FM, and you have vibrated yourself and you have tuned to 93.4. You will hear some music, but then you will hear a lot of disturbances too. Imagine you have gone to 93.6. Now, you will hear again, but again a lot of disturbances. So until and unless you're going to vibrate or tune to that frequency of the music channel or whatever the channel could be, you will never ever be able to hear what is the truth. So always vibrate at a higher level of energy, and this should be your practice. And I'm going to give you more reasons why I'm saying so. And don't be too self-critical. Many a times whenever I talk to people or when people talk to me, they try to put them down as much as possible. Oh, I can't do it. I don't think I can make that. This I can't is so much a word that we keep on hearing that. And ultimately, what will happen? God only knows one answer. He'll say, so be it. Now, when you hear that so be it, then it hurts because you asked, you said that. So don't be too self-critical, because each baby steps you take towards your success, you will just fail to notice all of them. And that is very, very important. So with these few pointers, I'm going to take you to an amazing session today. If all of you have your books and pens around, grab them, because there are lots of nuggets which I've put. I'm not sure how much I'll be able to go in depth in all of these nuggets because I have a paucity of time, but nevertheless, I'll do my justice to whatever time I have and then be able to answer your questions too. So I spoke about vibrations. Now let's look at the vibration of our mental state. Just look at that column that says shame is 20, guilt is 30, so on and so forth, where you can see willingness is 310, acceptance is 350, reasoning, love, joy, peace, enlightenment are all above 500. So, whenever that video, just like that video which was played, whenever you vibrate at a higher frequency, that's the frequency of God. And until and unless you are ready to vibrate at that frequency, nothing good would come out of it. And this is not my thoughts, my dear friends. This is a concept taken from Dr. David Hawkins' book, which is called Power versus Force, which is of very relevance. Now, let's just understand what our body is. I'm sure all of you will say our physical body is 70% of water. Now, just look at the universe. Just look at the world. When you draw the world map, do you see more of land or more of water? I'm sure all of you are saying more of water, right? So, whether it is the earth, Mother Earth, or whether it is our body, our physical being, we have it completely filled with water. Now, how much water do you drink in a day? If you're drinking less water, then you would start putting on weight and all the diseases would come. I'm sure most of you must have heard about hydrotherapy also. So the amount of water you take in a day would definitely give you the kind of the energy level you want to possess for the day. So every day when you wake up, drink 2 glasses of water. You would see that you have no stomach problems after that. Before you go to bed in the night, just drink 1 glass of water. You will prevent all heart attacks in the night. So imagine if water could be a therapy called the hydrotherapy or the hydrotherapy, and water equates to your energy vibrating level, then shouldn't you drink at least 3 to 4 liters of water in a day? This is what doctors recommend. And that is when you will vibrate your body with the kind of energy, the kind of right kind of high energy levels which you think you need, right? A simple exercise which I can give for all of you is, imagine you're waking up at 6 in the morning. From 7 a.m. till, imagine you're going to bed at 10 p.m. So from 7 a.m. till around 9 p.m., drink 1 glass of water every waking hour of the day. Count the number of times and you will realize that it would be around 3 to 4 liters of water. Just by drinking water, as I told you, we are going to vibrate. And look at this. Look at the emotions, the perception of life, and the state you will be in along with the energy levels. This is also adapted from Dr. David Hawkins. Whenever you look at anxiety, regret, despair, blame, humiliation, hate, all this, if you look at it, it is vibrating at a very low level. That is less than about 150. Now let's look at trust in God, optimism, forgiveness, understanding, reverence, serenity, bliss, ineffable. All of this are about 200. And you can see enlightenment, joy, all of that are above 500. So we need to raise ourselves. We need to raise our energy levels to that level so that we are in unison with the universe. I'm sure during the pandemic, our mind has been like a pendulum, always oscillating with a lot of negativity. Of course, I agree that most of us have gone through the pandemic in a very bad situation. Each of us have had a loss in the family. Most of them have lost jobs, have got salary cuts. Now, if I'm going to always focus on an everyday life experience and think only about the loss which this pandemic, or for that matter, anything has brought, I would always be vibrating at a lower energy level. I will be at the level of grief, intrusion, relinquishing, and I will just try to cut or sever ties with people. I would be in a stage of denial, or I would avoid any restoration process. I'm so thankful to God that immediately when we saw about the pandemic, most of us, inclusive of the MTTC college, started on the restoration process. And that was the game changer. We said, in our small little way, how can we bring a kind of a holistic approach to people, thereby making a massive change in everybody's life? So, what were the restorations? Attending to life's changes, acknowledging it. We are not saying turn a blind eye. No, acknowledge it, but then be a part of a solution. Don't enhance the problem. Do new things. All of us got from offline to online. Have a distraction from grief. I know all of us are facing grief. And, as a psychotherapist, that was what was my burning desire. Because come March, April, May, June of 2020, my cases, my patients who started calling me for counseling actually increased. Now, if I was a normal person, that should have made me happy, right? Because that was bringing in a lot of money into my pocket. But for me, heart of hearts, that actually sapped my energy. I was feeling sad. I said, I need to do something. I need to be the person who can distract people's attention. And that is why I got into social media. Otherwise, for 8 long years, I was off social media. I walked into social media because I did not know how many more people needed my help. I was only able to help so much as to how many people called me and asked me for help. So I was thinking about all those silent people who were not ready to share, who felt they were alone. So I wanted to lend a helping hand. And what I did was post a single positive talk on the social media every single day. That made a paradigm shift in people's mind. I started getting messages in the morning and saying, Ma'am, what are you sending today? What is your thought for the day? And that brought a lot of energy in me because I knew there were people, there were hungry souls who wanted to be fed every single day. And I was able to be a distraction medium for them. And I was helping them understand grief, but at the same time, be a part of a solution. So I wanted to start giving healthy relationships. Being at home, suddenly, all of us were confused because children were at home, schools were going on, and they needed help. Work was going on, everybody needed a laptop or a cell phone by themselves. All this while we were telling, don't look into the cell phone, don't do this. And at the end of the day, we started doing the same. And I am a victim to it too. So I said, how do I make this positive? How can I make use of all these things which have turned tables positive in my life? There goes what I understood. Life is about 3 things. First is life of survival. Now imagine when you are in your probably 18, 20, up till about 30 years. All of us have gone through this phase called life of survival. And you just think about all those children who had written their 12th exam. They were uncertain about their final, what they're going to get in their college. For people who were in college, portions were not done properly and they were promoted to the next year and they knew they were not good enough. So this conflict within the mind is, what am I going to do in my later years? How will I be able to stand in this society to earn my own bread? And all of us, even without the pandemic, till around 30 years, till we put our foot on solid ground, that was life of survival. I felt I had crossed that phase. Next is a life of success. Most of us, if you're in the age group of say 30 to 40, that would be your phase. A phase where you would have had your strong foot on ground. You would have started getting a job, a decent income. You'd have set up a family. You'd have your wife and husband and children, and probably a little more materialistic or tangible things which you have in your life. That is called life of success. So if you're around 30 to 40, you would have tasted that too. And I crossed that stage too. I have had enough of success in my life. So my mind was actually scratching for something more. Next, I understood a life of significance. What can I do to make others' lives around me healthy, holistic? And that is why I said, let me start giving. Once I started giving, I understood the art of life is actually in the art of giving. And that was very, very powerful for me. So if you really want to lead a life of significance, I don't think now you need to wait till you're 40 plus to understand that. All those who are attending today's seminar, I'm sure you're going to get that. And it's going to be so easy for you because you can cross these 3 steps, not maybe physically in your body, but definitely within your elevated mindset. A beautiful book by Todd Henry, he said, die empty. He said, unleash your best work every single day. So that kept me thinking, what is it that I'm going to carry to my grave? Because I saw a lot of death happening around me. I lost few family members. Was it easy for us? Answer is absolutely no. Then I thought, if today is my last day, what should I do today? Once I get up in the morning, attitude for gratitude. I kept thanking God for those 86,400 seconds which God gifted me today. And then I said, how best am I going to make use of this 86,400 seconds so that God grants me another beautiful day so that I can do much more. So as Todd Henry said, don't go to your grave with your best work inside you. Choose to die empty, which means give it all you have every single day to every person you touch upon, every single person whom you can positively influence so that you leave your positive footprints on this time and leave back. So what are these footprints? Footprints are the impressions or images left behind by a person who is walking or running. I'm sure most of us know this, right? When we walk on sand, we see our footprints and we like that. Footprints symbolizes what we leave behind. They are a mark, an indentation. So we know exactly that it means that a person has traveled this path and probably you can follow the footprints of that person. And these footprints could be maybe as a reference for you of the past, of the present, and what you can do in the future too, from where they have left. So let's understand, what do you want to be? An ordinary person or an extraordinary person? A person who enhances the problem, or do you want to be a solution seeker? You want to blame people, blame society, blame the virus, blame the government, blame everybody around you? Or do you want to take up responsibility? Do you want to give excuses every single day, or you want to taste success? Believe me, friends, you can't get both. And if you want to do something extra, you need to put in some more effort than another person. So Leave your minimalistic approach to life. If I do this, is that enough? Don't ask that question after this session. Say, what else should I do to give my best shot? Otherwise, India wouldn't have performed so well in this Olympics, right? Aren't we proud of all of them? But isn't it their sweat, hard work of what they put for 4 long years, in this particular case, 5 long years, to get what they want? So, all of us, are we doing our best for the society? Are we making ourselves proud, our families proud, our institutions proud, our nation proud? I think all of us have a job in role, right? So, what can I do? If this is your question, how do I leave a positive footprint? And you're, finding out all the reasons that maybe it's just not working out for you and things are just not going your way, then shift yourself to a higher energy and get into the mode of I can do it, and tell you can do it too, and let's all do it together, because we need to create the same ripple effect what Dr. Joju John had put as a motivational video in the beginning of this session. So, what is the power of association? I'm sure today all of us are sitting on this webinar. This is a power of association, and I have a responsibility. And together as a team, we have a responsibility, because a man only learns in 2 ways. One is by reading, and the other is by association with smarter people, as said by Will Rogers. So, we need to associate with people who are smarter than us. Only then we will be able to vibrate at a higher level. Or you can read books. The power of reading really tunes your brain. You must be thinking, oh, once I start reading, I fall asleep. Stand and read, my dear friends, so you will know when you fall asleep, right? So when you read, you try to imbibe a lot of good things. And as you keep repeatedly reading nice things, your brain, which has a remarkable power of neuroplasticity. What does that mean? Your nervous system, your brain works at so much high speed that whatever you talk to it, it is going to work towards you. That is why they say the willpower of a person makes or breaks that person, especially during hard times. I'm sure all of you know, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. That is the power. So it's all in your mind. You can make it. So as Joel Osteen said, you need to associate with people that inspire you, people that challenge you to rise higher, people that make you better. Don't waste your valuable time with people that are not adding value to your growth. Your destiny is too important. These words are so powerful that we need to know those people who are adding value to your life. Sit down right now, my dear friends. If you have your pen and paper, write down 5 people who are adding value to your life. And write down 5 people who are trying to sap your energy. Stay away from those people who are sapping your energy, and associate more with those people who bring in smiles into your face, who make you feel wanted, who make you happy, who make you feel that you are the best. And that is most important. So let's trigger the change. We have said a lot of things, but who is the change? As Mahatma Gandhi said, you be the change that you wish to see. And change is the only constant thing in this entire world. And let's be the trigger, not the catalyst, not the end result, but let's start it. So let's see what are the footprints we can leave on different aspects of life. First is the environment. I'm sure all of us understand we have polluted the environment. Now imagine if our forefathers had polluted the environment and given to us, will we have good water to drink? Didn't they plant more trees? Didn't they take care of our waterways? We are the ones who are dumping all our sewage, all our plastics into the environment. We are the one who polluted the air, the soil, the nature. Why are we blaming others for? Thanks to the pandemic, we understood that as much as we needed good water to drink, we need good air to breathe. And now I'm sure all of us understand about the carbon footprinting. So, how can we actually lead to this? Let's understand a little more. The top options for reducing your carbon footprint is to understand how we can really contribute. I'm sure you all knew few years back, we started going on a concept called carpooling, where 2-3 people started using one car so that if they had to go to a particular place, each of them would take that car one day and thereby reduce up to 3 or 4 cars in the environment. Now, world has moved forward. We have battery and electric cars. If you're flying, you can fly one less long haul flight per year. We are thinking about renewable energy, thinking about public transport, refurbishment and renovation. I'm sure most of us have got into a vegan diet, and the heat produced by our appliances, we can reduce that. You can have an improved cooking equipment where you can reduce your oil, you can reduce your gas and still have healthy food. You could have renewable based heating too. So what are your baby steps you can do? Switch off the lights, which you don't need. Take the stairs instead of the lift. When the AC is on, shut the windows and the doors and use it only till you need it. Take shorter showers, save water. Put your laptop power down whenever you're not using it. Unplug all the electronics when not in use. Keep the room temperature moderate. Do full loads of laundry. Use fewer or share your appliances and switch to LED bulbs. I'm sure all this is doable by each one of us. Maybe we are practicing some, not all of them. But let's get into the conscious mode of practicing that. 3 ways to reduce your supply chain's carbon footprint. Let's look at that. Little things which go unnoticed are the kind of social network which require a lot of energy from you. And we speak about something called footprints on the online platforms. So whatever you put, try to put in positivity. Don't try to spread what you heard from someone, which is not the right thing. Next, calculate your carbon footprint, and this is possible through several internet websites, and you will be astonished as to how you can contribute. For people who need more information on this particular concept, you can contact me directly. I'll give you my number at the end of the session, because I cannot dwell much more on these concepts, but there are a lot of things which we can do. How do I do it? I have indoor plants which purify my air, and this is possible by each one of us. You have the snake plant, the ZZ plant, the Gerbera daisy, the spider, the peace lily, which you can place it in your workplace and really start breathing in fresh air. You can keep it next to your beds because you will get fresh oxygen to breathe in. These are things which is doable. My interest in this footprints came way back in 2002. Now it's 19 years. How did it come? I was traveling in a public transport and I saw a newborn baby, a stillborn child, thrown into the dustbin. And the moment that fresh child was thrown, I could see dogs come and eat that child. That brought tears in my eyes. I said, how could people be so inhuman? If that was a live child, would they do the same? This got me thinking. And I said I needed to do something. Why was medical waste just thrown by? That's when I started my quest for knowledge. I have to be indebted and acknowledge a few people here. My alma mater, Ragas Dental College and Hospital, which gave me the wings, the belief that I could work on such projects. The Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board, Toxic Links, which works for the toxic free world, and my own clinic, Smile Dental Clinic. So I wrote a book called Going Green, a manual of waste management for the dental practitioner. And I brought out this book in 2007. Was that easy? The answer is a big no, my dear friends. From 2002, I got enrolled in a hospital and healthcare management course from Symbiosis Pune. And in that course, I had to do a project. And I said I would work on biomedical waste. So once I started working and getting more information on that topic, that is when I realized that, I had a thesis work in front of me. And I submitted my thesis. And my thesis was well received by the Symbiosis Center. I was applauded, but my thirst was still not quenched. I started writing articles on it, and I sent it for international publication. My articles got rejected, not once, not twice, 13, 14 times, and that took around 2 years. I had already spent 3 years of my hard work with no positive results coming out. My spirits were not that high that time, my dear friends. I was as low as possible. That is when I got a letter from one of the journals which said, Dr. Vidya, don't think we are rejecting your article. We are not in a position to evaluate your findings because it's the first of its kind and we have no much knowledge on that. So if you listen to my piece of advice, I would encourage you to write a textbook because that will be a breakthrough textbook in this particular field and you will be a pioneer in that. That was it I wanted to hear. So after 3 years, I made my entire thesis into a book format. And once I did that, I understood the importance of what I had worked on. So the first thing I did was I started writing my thesis in a book format and started putting the best management practices. And I should thank this gentleman, Mr. Jitendra Vij, who is the chairman of the JP Brothers Medical Publication, which is the most important publication house for the medical field. And this was released in 2007 on 20th of March, which happens to be the National Oral Hygiene Day. And then I was applauded by Dr. Mir Mustafa Hussain, who was the Vice Chancellor of the Tamil Nadu, Dr. MGR Medical University, for my contribution to a green environment. So after 5 years, I could smell some success. However, the book was priced only at 120 rupees. I said, was my work just worth that? Anyway, I left it to God. Come pandemic of 2020, and the tables turned. I was amazed because I had some requirement for the book and the publication house denied that they had any books to give me. I just went into the Amazon to see that book. A book which was priced at 120 rupees till March of 2020. Come April of 2020, the book was priced at 600 rupees because what I had told 15 to 18 years back, nobody listened to me at that time about pollution. And now, when they are all understanding about that, that is when they started buying that book. And today I can tell you, I enjoy the royalty for my book. It feels on top of the world because it took me 19 odd years to wait patiently to understand and sensitize and create that awareness which people lack. What was the awareness programs which I did? I was the speaker. You can see here, at least being a woman, I feel very proud because we talk about creating a space for ourselves. So whenever there was a workshop on biomedical waste management, either from the Ministry of Environment and Forests, Government of India, or the CPR Environmental Education Center, the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board, I was giving talks in medical colleges and I was called far and wide. And I was the only dentist in the entire panel, the only lady in the entire panel, and I was also given the only chance to speak because I had worked on that forum. And this took me to Delhi, where I was talking so that there were sessions or implications done on the policies regarding the biomedical waste management. Those 20 years that I had invested on something which was very close to my heart. That's what I told you in the initial slide. If you really want more information, I cannot speak my 20 years in a 1 hour session. It's very difficult. But if somebody is as passionate as me and really would like to contribute to the environment, then I am there. I can really give you tips right from being a housewife, how you can get that job done. And I was giving, a talk, sensitizing the government officials, and I felt on top of the world. And a poster was released too on that format. Next is footprints as a human. I'm sure all of us sitting here on the other side of the webinar have a responsibility. And if not for that first section, what footprints you can do for the environment, as a human, I'm confident all of us can do our bit to make this world a better place to live in. Listening to this beautiful verse, I have grown up in a house filled with fingerprints and footprints of lots of positive, eco-friendly surrounding around me, which includes lots of caring, affection, understanding, laughter, love, which includes ethics, restrictions, principles, learned to value them and follow them to live great and a better life, as said by Veena. So let's all leave footprints of love and kindness wherever we go. Let's start with few moral values. There was a time when I was in school and we had a subject called moral science. I studied in the Presentation Convent, Church Park, Chennai. I'm sure all of you must have heard about our Chief Minister, Dr. J.J. Jayalalitha ma'am. And I studied in the same school. And it is a proud privilege because we were inculcated the values of life. We were not in a rat race. We were not a part of the number one category, but we wanted to be number one human beings. As most of you know, that slot is freely available for all of us. There's no fight there, right? So there is only one happiness in this life, to love and be loved, as said by George Sand. So let's lead from the heart and not from the head. That is so very important. This is what has been said by Princess Diana. And I'm sure we understand what love is all about. Love is also very hard to define, my dear friends, because it is not very exclusive to one person, or it does not have a definitive start or end point. You can love about anybody, animals, people around you, people who cannot give you back even that love which you want to give them. Love is universally shared experience that breaks barriers and boundaries that exist through time, through space, through everything. I'm sure you saw the Olympics this time, and a beautiful show of love happened. There were two players, they played the long jump, and they were not able to, one of them got injured in the final entry. And the other person said, we both will share that goal. That is what sportsmanship is all about. That is what love is all about. That is what can break barriers. Hatred would never do that. Let's vibrate at a higher energy level where love is the basic essence of our life. Kindness, a little spark of kindness can put a colossal burst of sunshine into someone's life. Kindness is more important than wisdom. And the recognition of this is the beginning of wisdom, as told by Theodore Isaac Rubin. It's so important, my dear friends. Nobody would know how much degrees you possess until and unless you choose to give, you choose to be kind, you choose to appreciate people, you choose to use those kind words to lift people up. So wherever you go, strive to leave footprints of kindness, and that is very important. Using positive words. There are so many positive words that we could use instead of belittling people. Your positive words are like seeds. You could help people grow. You can make them or break them. Choose what you want to do. I'm sure once the pandemic happened, we had a lot of statisticals. You had a lot of, information related to politics, attacks, rape, whatnot. Let's stop all this. Let's stop sharing all these information through your WhatsApp. Let's start sharing only the relevant things. Use this acronym, THINK. First, is it true? Will it be helpful for the person I'm sharing? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary that you only need to share that? And is it kind to their mind? Think about that. Maybe you and I are in a meta mental status to accept all the negativity in this world. But those people whom you're sharing, they might not be as strong as you and me. So it is our responsibility to think before we forward. As Aarti said, before you leave this world, leave the footprints of positive words, as it will illuminate the path for someone who's in search of wisdom. Care. To make a difference in someone's life, you don't have to be brilliant, rich, beautiful, or perfect. You just have to care. That's what Mandy Hall said. Love and life is all about caring. Life is really nothing without love and care. Give it to everybody, but don't expect it back because it's a feel, it's not a deal. That is why they say, give love and give care to everybody because they might not even appreciate what you do, but God would appreciate when you go back to Him. He will say, I'm proud of you, my child, because that is why I sent you to the world. And don't all of us want to hear it from our Heavenly Father that we were His good children on this earth? Caring people are polite, considerate, generous, affectionate, patient, understanding, loving, and forgiving. They go out of their way to make others feel special, to make them happy, and feel more confident in themselves. They are sensitive to others' feelings. That is what caring people are all about. And I'm sure most of us are that. Let's just keep spreading this. Compassion. Compassion motivates people to go out of the way to help physical, mental, or emotional pains of others and themselves. Compassion is often regarded as having sensitivity, which is an emotional aspect to suffering. So, to understand compassion as we define it, It is to show love and kindness towards everyone you meet. And it has nothing to do with their status, their religion, the color of the skin, or anything for that matter. Affection is responsible for 9/10 of whatever solid and durable happiness there is in our lives. Being affectionate is very important. The most precious gift we can offer anyone is our attention and affection. That is why they say when you spend quality time with people, that is something which they can never give you back. So always choose to give the intangibles. Love, care, affection are all intangibles. Nobody can quantify them, and nobody can say, this is how much I can give you. Give it as much as possible. Affection or fondness is a disposition or state of mind or body that is often associated with a feeling or type of love. It has given rise to a number of branches of philosophy and psychology concerning emotion, disease, influence, and state of being. Many a times people ask me, how come you're a dentist and a psychotherapist? How do you balance between the two? I felt this was my heart's calling. I'm passionate about dentistry. Nevertheless, I'm also passionate about what I do because I have a very strong reason. If I'm a dentist or when I'm only a dentist, people have to walk to my clinic. Only then I can serve them. But as a psychotherapist, I can cross boundaries and serve anybody, anywhere, any religion, any region, any country. And that's what I have been contributing for the last 13 years. Affection is also very important in healthy relationships. Affection is freely given and received. Healthy couples don't need to remind themselves to show their partner that they love and appreciate them. Each person also receives affection with affection rather than turning it away or taking it for granted. Next is understanding. Understanding is deeper than knowledge. There are many people who know you, but very few who understand you, as said by Nicolas Cage. So, mutual understanding is the main backbone of every healthy relationships. When somebody tells you something and when you say you understand, truly mean it that you understand. Understanding is a physiological process related to an abstract or physical object, such as a person or a situation or a message, whereby one is able to use these concepts to model that subject. It's a relationship between the knower and the object of understanding. And to understand, you need to develop patience, as said by Swami Parthasarathy. Laughter is something which really creates a positivity around you. When you love and laugh abundantly, you would live a beautiful life. Laugh. Laugh, my friends. Laugh until your belly hurts. And then just a little bit more, just like the child is laughing. Even looking at that child makes us feel happy. And that is why laugh to your heart's content, because laughter is the best medicine which you can give. Laughter is a physical reaction consisting usually of rhythmical, often audible contractions of the diaphragm and other parts of the respiratory system. So in this pandemic, all of us understand that the lungs are the most important organ and we don't want that to get bad. So when you also think about your pranayams or your yogas and think about deep breathing, also think about laughter, because laughter is going to be the response to certain internal and external stimuli. And this can arise from just being tickled over something or from any humorous stories or thoughts or jokes which your friend or your family members would share with you. What are the principles of a happy life? Use things, not people. Love people, not things. That is so very important. Be flexible, but stick to your principles, as said by Eleanor Roosevelt. Very, very important to understand the 6 steps of accountability. Now, once you have listened to all this, you need to start working towards yourself. Being accountable to your inner self is most important. Self-honesty, value others, keep records, take responsibility, do the right thing, and act promptly with care. Next are your moral ethical values. Working for a cause and not for applause is very important. Live to express yourself, not to impress anybody. Because if you choose to impress, you would only keep impressing. You would not live the real you. When it is wrong for everyone doing it. And right is right, even if no one is doing it. So let's be the people who are doing the right things right now. Next is values. Values are individual beliefs that motivate people to act one way or another. They serve as a guide for human behavior. Some values have intrinsic worth such as love, truth, freedom, where other values such as ambition, responsibility, and courage describe traits or behaviors that are instrumental as means to an end. So what are your core values in life, my dear friends? You can write it down and work towards that and hone that. Be a right living example instead of just preaching it. And that's very important. Next is living an ethical life. Many a times, moral values are sold for making few bucks, right? But let's be fair. Let's learn to live to please our conscience, to please God for that matter. Ethics is of 2 things. First, it refers to well-founded standards of right or wrong that prescribes what humans ought to do, usually in terms of rights, obligations, benefits to society, fairness, or specific virtues. Whereas, secondly, it refers to the study and development of one's ethical standards. Raise your standards. Live a life of moral, ethical value so that you be the role model for people to emulate you and leave those footprints in the test of time. As Lewis said, integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching. A short story here. A dad and a son was going in their bike. They were wearing the helmet though, and they stopped at the red signal. The small child asked his dad, said, "Dad, the red signal is there, we have stopped. But there's nobody on the road. It is 3 in the morning. There's no police too. Why don't we just go?" The father says, "I wear my helmet for my safety. I follow the rules so that we are safe. It is not to impress or show anything to others. Even if the police is not there, I have to follow because that is a value I carry. That is my integrity." I hope most of us understand what integrity is all about. So we come to leadership now. How do we lead people? How do we share our vision? How can we inspire and empower people? Leadership is not only about power, my dear friends. It's about vision. It's about what you can see, far-sightedness. It is about responsibility, as said by Seth Berkeley. A selfless person goes beyond his concerns and emphasizes with others. They are humble. They have a broader view. They truly listen to others. They put themselves first in others' position. They say we instead of I, because I brings in the ego. They celebrate success together and face the failure alone, and they find pleasure in helping others to see happiness. A small story here too. I'm sure all of you know about our late president, Abdul Kalam ji, and he spoke about one of his, tryst with this kind of facing success. So he said, They had done a lot of experiments and they had left the Chandrayaan up, but then it failed the first time. At that time, the head said, "You all go, I will handle the reporters." And later, 1 year later, when they had had a successful flight, then the boss said, "All of you give the interview, I'm going to take rest." That is how you celebrate together, my dear friends, because a leader is a person who owns responsibility, especially in terms of failure. And it is up to us to draw this leadership quality in all of us. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way, as said by John C. Maxwell. The littlest feet leave the biggest footprints in our hearts. So let's see how else can we leave positive footprints on this test of time. Let's inspire footprints. Footprints as an academician, I know I have served and I still continue to do that, to extend my services in different colleges as a speaker. And this I used to do offline. So this is at Manipal College of Dental Sciences, which has been ranked as the #1 dental college in India. It's a real proud moment for me because I'm a part of that institution which upholds the standards of dentistry. And this is at Bombay, where I teach laser dentistry, a forte which I can proudly say I'm one among the top 3, not only in the country, but in Southeast Asia. Footprints as a health expert. I'm going to share something which Dr. Joju John had already told in the beginning. So I wanted to spread my positive footprints, not only in people who are at my age or student community. I wanted to spread it to the children because they were getting a lot of psychological effect, especially due to the pandemic. So let's see a short video here. So being the past president of the Indian Dental Association Madras branch, I always see that how can I contribute so that the children can have a better life. And this we do it on a regular platform. Next is footprints as a traveler. I love traveling. That's something which is very passionate about. And wherever I go, I try to pick up some nuances, some positivity from the people around with whom I interact. So why do you have to travel? When you travel, you start connecting with people. You learn about their culture, heritage, history, their places of interest, food they eat, and lots more. And you start embracing the differences and you learn the art of coexisting. You can give a part of your culture there too. Don't ever underestimate the mark you can leave on the world with gentle footprints, my dear friends. Some people come and go, but leave beautiful footprints in our hearts. So, this is your homework for the day. What are you going to do today? What are your contributions? What changes do you wish to make? What are your positive footprints? I conclude this presentation with a quote which I have written. Positive footprints. There is already so much sorrow in this world. Let's sow happiness and joy. There are many to spread hatred. Let's be different and spread love. There are many waiting to pull us down. Let's choose to lift people up. There are many to find faults. Let's appreciate people. There are many to spread fear and rumors. Let's be the ray of hope and belief. There are many to make people cry. Let's choose to bring laughter and smiles, because life is an echo. What you send out comes back, my dear friends. What you sow, you reap. What you give, you get. What you see in others exists in you, as said by Zig Ziglar. So let's be the game changer. Let's choose to be different. And this is Dr. Vidya Hari Iyer. My number is 98401 76088. You can follow me in Facebook with the same name. At Insta, I'm Dr. Vidya Hari. And in our YouTube, we have our own YouTube channel, which is called Team Red Rockstars, Dr. Vidya Smile Dental Clinic. You can follow us there too for updates. Thank you, Dr. Jojo John, for this wonderful opportunity. And thank you, the MTTC team, for an amazing session. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Vidya. Outstanding performance.
Thank you so much, sir.
It
Thank
was exceptional, ma'am. Simply superb, and we enjoyed every bit of it. The best was your last quote, which looked like a poem, ma'am. Thank you.
you so much. If there are any questions, I would answer them.
Thank you so much, Vidya ma'am, for such a great and wonderful presentation. It has definitely awakened our insight and, of course, was an eye-opener for us. Now it's the deliberation time. Dear participants, share your opinions and views regarding today's topic. The stage is open for everyone. Thank you. There is no questions in the chat box also, ma'am. Everyone is appreciating.
Okay. If there are any queries, I would take it up online if you are interested. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I think I have no words to share my joy. Dr. Jojo John was with us last Saturday also when we were doing, I run a program called Inspiring Young Minds. And this is every Saturday where I, interact with children aged 5 to 12 years. And we try to bring a lot of fun, and we do a lot of therapy for the children. We don't tell them that, it is pandemic, you have to sit at home. We try to engage them in a lot of positive ways. I can see people have raised hands. Does that mean that they are having some questions? I can see Dr. Asha has raised her hand.
Dr. Asha, would you like to add something? Dr. Asha, are you there?
Sorry, ma'am, it was by mistake, because initially I just wanted to enlarge the screen and it came. But really, it was a wonderful session. It was very nice watching you, enjoying your, and waiting for more presentations, ma'am.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Asha. I mean, it's so sweet of you to say that. It's my pleasure to serve you. If you want to know about all my sessions, you can ping me and I can send you the link.
Yeah, definitely, ma'am. Definitely. Yeah.
Please take down my number. My number.
Yeah, I have it, ma'am. I'll have it. I'll contact you personally.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay,
I'll
ma'am.
be there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Doc-
so much. The
Dr.
other
Vidya?
person is, yes. Yes,
Dr. Asha is also an exceptional resource person. She also gave 2 talks in Insight in Depth.
Oh,
And
that is-
we hope she would pop up for the 3rd in the coming weeks also. That's what we expect.
It's an honor then, Dr. Asha. I have heard your sessions too, but this is truly an honor coming from your mouth then.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
She pops up once in a while in Marthapulas Training College to train the English language competencies of our students as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's lovely.
Dear
Other
friends,
person is the other person is Mary Florence Freda, Shivakumar sir. So if you have any queries, yeah, please.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Mary.
Ma'am, wonderful session. It's a very different session from other sessions because it's all human values, now love, that and all we won't get in a presentation as far as my 15 years experience. This and all is no one would explain in presentation, but learned lot, no questions, just appreciation as a sister.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you.
Wonderful, and all the best for next session.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Georgian sir from Goa is there, I think. Hope that he may contribute something.
Yes. Sir.
Georgian sir.
Thank you, Dr. Benedict, sir. I mean, it's truly a pleasure to come every time and serve your team. It truly means.
Vidya ma'am, I'm Asha. Is it
Yes.
okay if I share something in a lighter vein? I do remember seeing an advertisement. Currently, I don't think it's being played now. It's about an Agabarti. And I think the father is asking, what's the ambition or so? And the son is saying, Vidya Prapt Karna Hai. Then the father is asking, Kaun si Vidya? Okay. So when people say Vidya, at that time it was about a girl. But now when I hear about Vidya, I always remember only one and only Vidya, that's you, ma'am.
Oh my God, this is truly an honor. This is truly an honor. Actually, my name I was named Vidya because I was born on Saraswati Puja Day. In our, Saraswati's other name is
Vidya. Yes.
So that is how, since I was born on Saraswati Puja, my name, I was named as Vidya. So I guess knowledge, Vidya, and this Vidya synced in that way too.
Of course, your parents have a long vision, of course. You emanate knowledge like anything.
Thank you so much. I feel so overwhelmed. Thank you so much.
For the information of the participants, some of the participants were asking for the PDF version of the ideas. Now you can log in one of our WhatsApp groups. It's in the chat box, and the YouTube link of Dr. Vidya's video will be shared in our WhatsApp group. Okay, you can watch the video once again. Okay, and then the research scholars, you can move on to the next sessions, please.
Thank you, sir. Don't go to your grave with your best work inside you. Choose to die empty. Thank you so much, Vidya ma'am. It always inspires all of us. Thank you. Gratitude is the most wonderful form of courtesy. Now it's the time to express our gratitude. Let me invite Mrs. Sini Mole, research scholar, Marthapulas Training College, for proposing the vote of thanks. Over to you, Sini ma'am.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Good evening, one and all. Respected Principal, Dr. K.Y. Benedict sir, Dr. Joju Jones sir, research guides, faculty members, research scholars, and students. My duty is to give vote of thanks to this session. Before this, I give my hearty congratulations to Dr. Vidya Hari Iyer for this excellent session, leaving positive footprints. This session gave us awareness on leaving positive footprints and how to reduce carbon footprints, direction to going green, and also footprints on the environment, footprints as human love, kindness, care, compassion, affection, number of items, footprints as a traveler, etc. This was a fantastic one. This webinar was a fantastic one. So thank you. Okay, now I politely enter into my duty. First of all, I give my sincere thanks to Principal Dr. K.V. Benedict sir, who is the backbone of this institution and Insight in the Talk series. Thank you, sir. Further, a big thanks to Dr. Vidyahari Iyer, who gave us fantastic session. Thank you, ma'am. Next, I give my thanks to Dr. Jojo Jones, sir, who is the coordinator of the research wing. Thank you, sir. I also want to thank all the faculty members and research guides of Matthiophilis Training College. Thank you all. Now I give my sincere thanks to assistant professors from other colleges and departments inside and outside Kerala. Thank you all. Last but not least, I give my wholehearted thanks to research scholars, students, and all other participants gathered in this virtual platform. Thank you all. Once again, thank you.
Thank you, Sini ma'am. Dear participants, please fill the feedback form. The link is shared in the chat box. E-certificate will be received in your email ID, which you have entered in the feedback form. Thank you so much for your valuable participation. Please join us on next week for another great webinar in Insight In-Depth Invited Talk series. Thank you so much. See you all next week. Stay safe. God bless you all. Thank you once again. May God bless everyone to leave a positive footstep everywhere you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sunila ma'am. Just a thing, I wanted to wish all of you a happy Onam because that's coming. And I want to thank all of you. I mean, you are working excellently as a team. And thank you for all those kind words. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And we will wait for your another talk also, ma'am. Thank you.
People
Now-
are asking for more, ma'am. Participants are asking for more from you.
Sure.
Now we have come to the end of the webinar. If possible, please stand up for the national anthem. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Special thanks to
Thank you.
Ansi ma'am
Congratulations.
for all
Research.
good technical supports, Ansi ma'am. Thank you so much, Ansi ma'am.
Congratulations, research wing, for coordinating the program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Vidya ma'am.
Thank you so much. I'm taking leave. Thank you and happy Onam to all of you.
Thank you and same to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Soumya, Sanila, wait for 5 minutes, okay? Please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sanila, can you copy the feedback form and send me by WhatsApp?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please.